What's up, everybody? It's your boy Agent P, aka Leonard Pinckney, here to give y'all your full Nuggets talk recap for Clippers Nuggets in season tournament game number 2. Let's get into the recap. First quarter, pleasant surprise for Denver fans here. Hey, man, Jalen Pickett, our second of the 3 rookies that we picked in the NBA draft this year, got some run with the first unit here. He was the first sub in. It wasn't going to be Colin Gillespie this time. Even though Colin has done some good things in his stint, it was nice to see Jalen Pickett here, and he was solid. He looked solid out there. He was moving the ball around, making some nice passes. He ended up having 5 points and an assist in the quarter, so no complaints from him. Jokic, 11, 6, and 4, obviously continues to just do what he does. He did miss some gimmies in this one, though. He was 3 of 9 to start the game. Paul George and James Harden actually started well for the Clippers in the first quarter. They both had 21 points combined after one. In the second quarter, at around the 6:10 mark, it was 44-39 Denver. Jokic still wasn't shooting well. He was 3 of 11, but Pickett got another assist, and KCP hit a 3, got that lead to 44-39 halfway through the second. It was 51-31 Denver after 9 minutes of play. A layup from Reggie Jackson and a pull-up from Michael Porter Jr. got Denver's lead up to the highest it had been up to that point in the evening, to 10. Michael Porter actually, that pull-up was the first shot he made all game. He didn't take a shot until 3:07 left in the second quarter. So the first half wasn't the smoothest for Denver, but still came away with an 8-point lead at the half, 60-52. Jokic 18, 10, and 6, and shot better in that second quarter. Got his shooting up to 6 for 14. Reggie Jackson, really good half. 14 points, 3 assists, was just making the right plays, darting in, cutting in, doing what he does, and just picking his spots really well in that first half. And like I said with Jalen Pickett, he's going to get the shout out. 5 points and 2 assists. The kid looked good in the first half. For the Clippers, Paul George had a really good first half. He had a really good game, but first half, 20 points. Harden had 11. Was only shooting 40% from the field, however. Third quarter goes, it's a little bit of a slog. About 3:38 left in the third, 76-70 Denver. It's been almost an even quarter between both of these teams. Aaron Gordon had a quick give and go in the corner and had a big dunk that led to a timeout for LA. But once Jokic came out with 2 minutes left in the third, that's when the Clippers ended up making their run. They kept James Harden in, and they got the lead to they ended up leading actually 84-81, and then Aaron Gordon threw up some mess from a step in from the half court line and ended up making a 3. And little did we know that would be something that actually would mean a lot towards the end of this contest. It was 84-84 instead of being down 3 at the end of 3, 84-84 to go into the fourth. Early in the fourth, I really want to shout out Christian Braun here. The kid was making plays on both ends of the floor, so really good job, Christian. I'll get a little bit more into that after the recap. 6:58 left. It's 95-91 LA. They'd gone small, and it actually had been working. For Denver, it was a little bit tough defensively, with Jokic out there. Got to make up for it a little bit, but the defense does a good job they do a lot better job of when teams try to attack Jokic one-on-one and they go small to help in the right places, and Jokic is a lot better at just knowing where he's supposed to be positionally. Sometimes he'll get caught out on an island. It's just not going to be perfect every single time. But I think despite the Clippers getting that lead up, they did a good job. But up to that point, when they had that 4-point lead at 95-91, they had outscored Denver in the second half 43-31. So to the credit of the Clippers, that small ball lineup was working. You get it under 3:47. Nuggets went on a quick 6-0 run, and that got the lead at 99-98. At the 110 mark, before that, actually, I'm going to go before that. The play before that, Aaron Gordon, after a nice scramble off of the double team from Jokic, KCP threw a dime to Aaron Gordon underneath the basket, and he got himself an and one, and that gave Denver the lead again. It was 104-102, makes the free throw. It's 105-102 Denver. Clippers get a bucket, but then Reggie Jackson comes down in a 1-point game. All the action is at the top of the key. He just knifes in, gets a layup on the left side of the basket, gets us a 3-point lead with 1:10 left. It was a 1-point game with 15 seconds left. Kawhi stole the ball off a Jokic pass to KCP, and that made it 109-108. Jokic came down and sunk a couple free throws with 13 seconds left. That made it 111-108. Paul George on the other end, after the Clippers called a timeout, put up a three, and it ended up being a wedgie. Jump ball ensued. Nuggets ended up getting the ball, and the Nuggets held on to their 9th victory of the year, 111-108. Some headlines here. It's funny for this one. I'm actually going to just stop calling this little segment a headline, and I'm just going to start calling it this. What did Nikola Jokic do tonight? And tonight he had 32 points, 16 rebounds, and 9 assists, albeit tonight on rough shooting, 8 of 23 from the field. Still in control for most of the game, but he did miss some easy shots early, missed some chippies. And to the credit of the Clippers again, when they went small, especially with PJ Tucker, it did have some effect. I think it's more because smaller defenders, and especially PJ Tucker, he knows he's bigger. He's going to be able to get away with more. He's out here almost tackling Jokic on plays sometimes. But when the refs don't call it, it makes it tough on Jokic, obviously. And that's what the Clippers implemented in this game. Semi-worked, but 32, 16, and 9 isn't really going to show you that it worked. So obviously another incredible game from Nikola. Reggie Jackson, again, man, he's been a continued bright spot for this team, and more so with Jamal being out. It's crazy to see what Reggie's done in order to step up for this team. I really appreciate what he's done, man. Other than missing those 2 big free throws late, he was splendid. 18 big points, 14 of those in the first half. Like I said, he was just picking the spots really well. And I like the pace, and the way that Reggie's been playing for us. He's been honestly indispensable for this team. If we didn't have him, which is a crazy thing to think about when we signed him straight away when free agency hit, but if we didn't have him right now, we'd be in some real dire straits with the bench unit and that point guard position. So shout out again to Reggie Jackson, man. He's been great. Aaron Gordon, he played 39 minutes tonight. Played great defense on Kawhi Leonard, and he finished with 25 and 5. The stat line was definitely apropos for what Aaron Gordon did tonight. He really did do a little bit of everything. He had a buzzer beater at the end of the third, which ended up being one of the differences in this game. Obviously, a game ebbs and flows back and forth, but the difference in the game was 3 points, and that late heave ended up being something that did matter in the end. Aaron Gordon, sometimes, offensively, he's going to do some dumb stuff, try to go one-on-one for no reason, try to go outside of the offense a little bit. But for the most part, when you're running Jokic ball with him, he knows what to do. He made some really nice passes tonight, and like I said, he's one of the best finishers in the league. Gave us that lead late with an and one, and had a couple really big dunks in this game. I love the way Aaron Gordon's playing. Even if it doesn't always look the best, he always ends up being effective. Christian Braun, man, early fourth quarter, that dude was all over the place. He was playing with a lot of confidence, and I think that's what a lot of Nuggets fans wanted to see. Offensively, Christian Braun, especially when you see him trying to pull 3-point shots, he just doesn't look as confident right now. But him going to the basket, he looked really athletic. He had a couple dunks today, offensive rebounds, hustle plays, making the right pass, making the right cut. He got 2 easy baskets in the fourth just because he cut at the right time. So Christian Braun, hopefully he can continue to build off of this performance. And if we have him rolling off the bench for this team, it's a good barometer for what Denver is moving forward, because he played the first 6 minutes of the fourth, and obviously he's a great defender. Coach Malone feels comfortable with him out there, and if his offense is rolling, if he's just moving the ball and making hustle plays, his impact will be felt a lot more. And lastly, Jalen Pickett. First half, good. 5 points and 2 assists. Moved the ball really well, played solid defense. Second half, pressure started to ratchet up a little bit. Terrence Mann was all up in his mug, and he looked like a rookie. But I did like how he was able to create. He's like how patient he is offensively. I'm not mad at what he does, and I'm happy that we're going to give him a shot for these next couple games to see what it looks like. Colin did okay, nothing too crazy, so I'm not mad at Coach Malone trying to change the look up a little bit and get Jalen Pickett some time. I like it, and I'm excited to see what he does going forward. For the Clippers, Paul George had a really great game. 2 really big bursts, honestly, in the first quarter and the fourth quarter. He finished with 35. James Harden had 21, 7, and 15. And Kawhi only had 15 points, but he did have 5 steals. Didn't shoot really well tonight. Jokic, like we talked about before, rough shooting night, 8 of 23 from the field. But the team overall still shot 53% from the field. They out-assisted LA 26 to 21 as well. They held the Clippers to 43% shooting and actually shot more free throws than them. They shot 32 to the Clippers 24. So a little bit of a tough game. It was a game where the Clippers came off 5 straight losses. They didn't want to lose again. It's an in-season tournament game, so this one meant a lot too. And I'm glad that Denver was able to dig deep, and even in a close game where Nicola's not shooting well, they were able to find ways to just do the little things and ultimately close the game out and go and get another victory in this in-season tournament. So they are now 9-2 on the year and 2-0 in the IST, the in-season tournament. And the Nuggets are going to have a couple of days off here before they travel to New Orleans. They're on a bit of a road trip here. This Denver home game was just a little bit of a reprieve, but they're going to be on a little bit of a road trip here. They're going to travel to New Orleans and face the Pelicans on Friday. Thank you guys for listening to this Nuggets Talk recap of Clippers and Nuggets. I'm your host, Leonard Pinckney, and thank you guys again for listening. See you next time.